Star Wars has just turned 40, or it will in a few days for us recording this, and I'm going to upload it on the day it actually turns 40. And yeah, today slash a few days, but yeah, I'll say today because that's when it's uploaded. Today is real Star Wars Day. May the 4th is not Star Wars Day. May the 4th means nothing, it's worthless. May 25th is real Star Wars Day.
Yeah.
Is that your first word in this video? Just yeah.
Indeed, yeah.
So, I think it goes without saying that we're both Star Wars fans. I think I'm more of a fan of Star Wars than any other film or video game or comic series or any franchise. Star Wars is my number one. How do you feel about that?
About it. I feel pretty good about it.
So, do you consider Star Wars your favourite or up there?
One of my favourites. Not like right in my favourite, but where it's considered like one of my top favourites.
Yeah, it's Star Wars, man. It's everywhere. It's on my shirts. It's on my shelves. It's on my wallet. It's on
my picture frames and on my bed.
Yeah, I've got a poster over there. I've got two Star Wars key rings. It's just everywhere. Like if you dislike Star Wars, I dislike you. You know, no, maybe not to that extreme. But if you dislike Star Wars, then sorry, things aren't gonna work out between us. You know, like I actually like Star Wars that much that, you know, I couldn't spend my life with somebody that doesn't, because it's that important to me, even though it's obviously they're just films, and comics, games, the other, but yeah. So it all started 77, 25th of May, much like today. Not really today, but yeah.
When this releases today. Yeah. When this releases.
And George Lucas, he released Star Wars. It was titled Star Wars the Original. Obviously, it's been renamed now to Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope. But yeah, I'm not really a George Lucas fan, but this film, this film was great. It's one of my favourite films of all time.
The originals are great.
Yeah, definitely. The original Star Wars is in my top 5. Top 5 films ever made. Empire is probably my top 10, and then Jedi and Force Awakens are probably in my top 25.
It's a big, sprawling space saga of rebellion and romance. It's a spectacle, light years ahead of its time.
I am C-3PO, human cyborg relations, and this is my counterpart, R2-D2.
Hello.
So we'll just start talking about. Have you got anything you want to talk about with Star Wars?
Like film. I think it's. I do remember one thing is when they were filming Empire Strikes Back. I believe either George Lucas or someone wanted to keep it like under wraps, like so nobody knew about it. So they they had like the film working title for someone completely random.
Yeah, they've done that. They've done that for all Star Wars films after the original.
Because everyone really loved the first one. Like
the new one, The Last Jedi. I believe that was called Space Bear when they were producing it. Just so they could hide the production, and
because people will get way too excited and.
But for the films themselves, like for like those people that are like, I don't want to watch Star Wars. I can live my life without watching Star Wars. No, you can't. Watch Star Wars. This is usually what I say at the end of my film discussion videos, but I guess it's a bit different because this is like an old film that most people have watched anyway. But if somebody said to you, I haven't watched Star Wars, this has happened to me, so I already know my answer. Would you tell them you need to watch Star Wars? Would you recommend it straight away, like without any questions, or would you only recommend it to certain people, or obviously not no one because it's masterpiece?
I would recommend it to most people that are interested, like in a new film or something different, space or like anything.
I would just recommend it to everyone because there is something for everyone in this trilogy, because kids can like it because it's a relatively simple, easy to follow story. Teenagers can like it because they've got cool action every now and then. Older people can like it because it's not too extreme. And it's just one of those films that everyone can enjoy, and it's at that level where it is a masterpiece in film, but it's not one of those ones that, for lack of a better word, that stupid people can't enjoy, because there are certain films that are really good. Like off the top of my head, I just think of Silence from earlier this year. That is a masterpiece film, but there are a few people that I can't think of a proper word, so I'm just going to call them stupid people. Stupid people probably wouldn't enjoy that film, but this, it's that perfect level of, it is a really, really well made film, so film lovers like myself can love it, but it's not so extreme to that point that the casual mainstream normies can't enjoy it too. And you need to watch it. Like, people say, oh yeah, it's just a kids film, but like, Star Wars isn't just for kids, is it? It's got some really dark themes, hasn't it?
Yeah, anybody can watch it. Adults, elderlies, anybody can watch.
Yeah, and everybody should. So what do you think of, we'll talk like individually, what do you think of the original film, Star Wars, or A New Hope, as some people like to call it?
I think it's almost, it's kind of a masterpiece in, like, cinema. Like, it did change cinema. It's like,
yeah,
pretty easy to follow, simple storyline, fun to watch, has literally all the motion thrown right in.
It's just got everything, hasn't it?
Yeah,
like, the few things that was lacking, like, maybe characters could have been developed a bit more, maybe they could have had little dark elements, but then with Empire Strikes Back, that fixed I don't want to jump into talking about Empire Strikes Back, but the few things that kept Star Wars from being the 100% perfect movie, those were in Empire. So when you look at those two films together, that I would say those, if you put them together, it would be a perfect film if they were just one film. Although standalone, they are both near perfect. And do you have any favourite moments from Star Wars 77?
Star Wars 77. I do like the charge, like, when Han Solo like runs in, charges, and like he runs back.
Yeah, when the Stormtrooper. That was one of the ones they changed in the special editions. They like added way too many Stormtroopers in a special edition. Yeah, I don't know if I could choose a single moment from that film. To be honest, I love that whole film. I can't choose a weakest part of that film because it all works. Apart from if you're gonna say the special editions, the weakest part of that film is the Jabba the Hutt scene, which they added later, because that was originally filmed full of film, and it was deleted because it was a pointless scene, added nothing to the story really, and then they added it in later, and then they improved the CG over time. Like that scene was deleted for a reason. Keep it out. But for the version that I like watching, the theatrical cut of the film, which I've got here, the limited edition DVD, which contains the special edition and also the original cut, which I have. With this copy, I've never even bothered watching the special editions. Just I'm always sticking with theatrical cut because it's superior. Like you know that scene where is it a bantha that just walks past the screen and blocks the entire screen?
It's like why bother?
George Lucas, you lost your way immediately after Star Wars.
It's once he got his hands on CGI, boom, he's gone.
Yeah, once he got hands on that money, he's like, oh, I can do anything now. Yeah, I know you can do anything, but that doesn't mean you should do anything and everything.
Now, the creators of the biggest smash hit of all time bring you the next episode in the Star Wars saga, The Empire Strikes Back. The continuing story of our band of heroes: Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Han Solo, C-3PO, R2-D2, and Chewbacca. And introducing Lando Calrissian.
Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
I'd just like to mention that Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi were not directed by George Lucas. He co-wrote both films, but he did not direct them. So, therefore, I do not consider them George Lucas films, which is why I always say George Lucas has made one good film. Yes, I do like Empire and Jedi, but he didn't, make them. He didn't direct them. But still, it's a great film. I said earlier that it takes the few things that the original Star Wars didn't do perfectly, and it does them. There's the improved characters, more depth, and great story. The best plot twist in cinema history. I'm sure we can say it. We don't really need to worry about spoilers, do we? Because everybody knows it, even people that haven't seen Star Wars. Everyone knows it. The scene. Do you want to reenact it? Do you want to be Luke or Vader?
I'll be Luke.
Okay, so do you want to start off?
I need to remember the lines he says.
It's He told me enough. He told me you killed my father.
Told me you killed my father.
No, I am your father. Great scene.
It's not true.
That's impossible.
And then he just literally.
Yeah, he jumps off. Great scene. Did you see that picture? I saw the other day behind the scenes. There's loads of like bed mattresses under where he drops, so that he can actually drop. I'll put it on screen. But yeah, great scene. That is my favourite plot twist in any film. It's famous. It's probably the most well known as well. But it's well known for a reason, and that reason is that it is the best. What else is in that film? Lando, great addition. Well played by Billy D. Williams, who that's his only good role. If you see some of his other films, they're pretty bad, but he did good in this. He fit Lando perfectly, and great film. Do you want to have any comments about Empire Strikes Back?
I do see why it's people consider it one of the best Star Wars films ever. I think it's just because they managed him. It's like much better than the first, like better than with more going on. Plot twists that mess up people's minds. New characters, more action, memorable moments, like when the AT-ATs.
Yeah, AT-ATs.
And the ship like flies around with some rope, like kind of some back rope, and just like ties down the leg so that the AT-AT.
Yeah, obviously referenced in Civil War, Captain America Civil War last year.
Civil War.
And
Spider-Man has that idea.
I think I understand why a lot of people prefer Empire. I personally do prefer the original Star Wars because I'm a fan of like technical aspects in film. So the plot is better in the plot and writing is better in Empire, but I'm like a fan of the mise en scene, composition, cinematography, that sort of stuff. So it's a very close call, but I prefer Star Wars just a bit. But I totally see why a lot of people prefer Empire.
The next chapter in the Star Wars saga, Revenge of the Jedi. The battle between good and evil rages on. Join the further adventures of Luke Skywalker.
Ending the trilogy, Return of the Jedi. This one is not as good. I think we can all agree. I actually used to prefer Return of the Jedi before I educated myself on filmmaking, but it's still a really good film, but it has a few more visible flaws, I'd say. Like the Ewoks, I personally like them, but they're not as good as like the Jawas or any of the other stuff in Empire, and they are still quite cute. I can see why people don't like them though, and they get the Leia being Luke's sister, that reveal, not as shocking a reveal as Vader being their father. Yoda dies. Like for Star Wars, I don't even need to give a spoiler warning, because if you haven't seen these films, you probably would have turned off when I said you need to see this film, because you need to see Star Wars. Like, to be my friend, right? You need to at least think they're like good films. That's the least you're gonna get away with. You don't have to love it like me. You just have to because I've said this before on Force Fortnite. These are well made films, and if you can't see that, you're wrong. You have to at least think, they're good films. They're at that point. You have to like them. If you don't, I don't know what to say to you. But Jedi, I don't have that much to say about Jedi, because obviously I have a lot to say, but I think I've said a lot of it already when we used to do Force Fortnite, and even stuff I haven't said, other people have said, and I agree with most people that praise Star Wars, because it's a film series worth praising. And you got any comments about Jedi?
Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
I think just one of the things I like about it is the final space battle. Like, that's probably one of my favorite space battles of all time.
Yeah. Again, I prefer the original. But yeah, good scene. I think the lightsaber fight in that, in Jedi, I just remembered. I think that is my favourite lightsaber fight in the original trilogy. Yeah, good lightsaber fight that, because it's at that point where it is quite there is a lot of motion, but it doesn't go to the extremes of the prequels where it's just painful to watch. But Jedi, it's like it's that perfect bit where it's not two people standing. They're moving about and everything, but they're not, jumping and all the stuff in the prequels. So, speaking of the prequels, we're quite young. We didn't have the build-up of anticipation for them, but I feel bad for those that did. I feel really bad because those films aren't good. I can't find a proper redeeming factor in a single one of those films in the prequels. Like, there are tiny things, like it's cool that they got Christopher Lee to play a character similar to Dracula, but that doesn't forgive like the rest of the film, I like Duel of the Fates. I think that's a good tune, but that's not enough to make all three films good. And the opening shot of Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah,
that's kind of good. I like how it's
like
a
straight,
continuous shot, but
like it goes straight into action.
But it's not as impressive, because it's CG. So anybody can do a continuous shot in CG. All you need is a good computer, and software. Yeah, but
experience.
Like it's not as impressive like really good shot on Goodfellas, where it's a continuous shot, and that's a live action film, so you can feel the effort put into that. And like the opening of La La Land, I think the lighting could have been better, but it was three. There are only 3 shots in that opening scene of La La Land. Did you watch La La Land?
No, I haven't yet.
Yeah, because I know you're planning to, but yeah, you should watch it. That's a different different discussion, but yeah, the live action continuous shots are a lot more impressive to me. La La Land's not really a continuous shot; it's 3 shots, but yeah, still more impressive than just a CG thing. Because it's like, yeah, whatever. Like, it's just computers doing stuff, and that is the whole prequel trilogy for me. I like seeing all the creature designs in the original trilogy, like all the puppetry, and Max Rebo. I don't think Max Rebo gets enough love. He's the blue elephant who's playing an instrument with his feet. A lot of people think they're his arms, but they're his legs. I saw the other day, I was looking at Funko Pops, because I show on camera now. I bought Gwenpool, but I was looking at Funko Pops, and the Funko Pop for Max Rebo is wrong. Like, it's wrong with canon, because Max Rebo doesn't have any arms, but he has legs, and that's what he's using. But people think that his legs are his arms. It's like even Funko, and they got the approval from Star Wars. So like, I know Star Wars better than people that do Star Wars. But anyway, back onto what I was actually talking about. That the practical effects are a lot more impressive in general.
Because they put more effort.
Yeah, put more effort. You can see how they did it as well, and often it feels more natural. They don't date as poorly. Obviously, they do date, but they don't date as poorly as CG. Yeah. More practical effects, man. None of that, like Jar Jar, Nas, all that. Like, should we even bother talking about Jar Jar? Because
I don't know.
it's like, it's all been said before. He's the awful, so bad.
He's kind of the character where you consider him where he's more natural.
Yeah, it was for babies. Like, I think saying he's for children is like an insult to children, because he was that bad. There was at college, right? We were learning like infographics. So the teacher gave us an example of an infographic. So he quizzed us before all the class. One of the questions was like, who is this? And there was a picture of Jar Jar Binks, and only 50% of the class actually knew who it was. Which I was surprised at, but I was like, I want to be the other 50% of the class. I want to not know Jar Jar Binks. I don't want to know Jar Jar Binks, but that Gungan is forever burnt into my mind. That damn Gungan. I hate him. People try and compare him to C-3PO. They say, oh, C-3PO is comic relief as well. Yeah, but he's good comic relief, and he's a practical effect, and he's a likeable character, and he doesn't look ugly. Like, I don't care if it's rude to like say someone looks ugly, because like, you know, Jar Jar Binks is a fictional character, so I'm allowed to mock him before you put like in the comments, right? Whoa.
Sorry.
Is that going to be the new meme? Instead of you falling over, it's going to be you sneezing.
The dark side. A Jedi.
And what was worth waiting for, though, made up for the prequels, was The Force Awakens. There were a lot of people online trying to say it's worse than the prequels. No, it's not. It's like, I can understand why someone might not like it, might have a few problems with it, but there's no way it's even as bad as the prequels. Definitely not worse than the prequels, because it's similar. It's similar to the original. I'll give you that. Personally, I believe that it has enough differences, like just enough differences, to make it a different film. And I don't care if it's similar to a film I like, because it's a film I like, so that means I like that film. Yeah, as long as The Last Jedi isn't as similar to Empire Strikes Back, then I'm fine with it, because J.J. Abrams, he's not the most creative director, but he's great at like bringing back old series. He did it with Star Trek. He sort of did it with Mission Impossible 3, except there wasn't a big break in between those films. And he did it with Star Wars. And good film. Do you have anything to say about Star Wars Force Awakens?
I think J.J. Abrams did a really good job. Like, kept it to where it really is. Didn't bring his own kind of stuff. Well, he did sort of, but not where it would affect the movie too much. Where it would actually be times where the lens flares would actually be perfect. Like when Kylo Ren watches his planet get destroyed.
Yeah, everything in that film, it's just so well done. I can't understand. I can understand why people have problems with it, but I can't understand why people. I can't understand why people hate it, because there are these little really great little subtle moments, like when Kylo Ren is unmasked and Hux walks in, General Hux. He walks in and he does a little turn away as if he's embarrassed to show his face. And it's like, that's little moments like that have more thought put into them than the entire prequel trilogy. I love it. I bought the Blu-ray the day it came out, and then I did the same for the 3D Blu-ray, even though I don't have a 3D TV. I did it because there were like two extra bonus features that weren't on the Blu-ray. I just wanted to see them. £20 just to see 2 bonus features, but it was worth it because it was Star Wars, and I love Star Wars. And after The Force Awakens, we got Rogue One.
Rogue One.
We won't talk about it too much because we already did half an hour discussion on Rogue One. But just in case people haven't seen that, we'll just run down basic thoughts. Do you want to start? Because I've done a lot of talking so far.
It's actually like kind of a spin-off film, but which is still in a universe which kind of links with, you know, the current events in Star Wars, and it actually works really well. Like actually quite a fun, enjoyable to see fights. Also has a really good story. Well, good actors.
It's really weird doing these videos because I always look to the side, like as if you're actually sitting there. I look to the side where you're gonna be, like where I'm gonna edit you into, like so it looks natural, but it doesn't feel natural because I'm just looking at a wall. I'm just looking at a wall. But yeah, Rogue One. I didn't love it. I think it's a 5 out of 10 movie, but 5 out of 10 is not that bad. It's like it's not amazing, but it had some nice moments. Could have been a lot better, but it's not a bad film. I really liked how Gareth Edwards liked to switch between handheld cameras and steady cameras during action. I think that worked perfectly. K2SO was funny, and we won't say spoilers for Rogue One because that's less watched than the original trilogy. But yeah, there's something that happens that's spoilers. I won't say. I'm sure that most people that have seen it will be able to work out. But yeah, really good moment that's spoilers, so I can't say it. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, so Star Wars, I'm excited for The Last Jedi. That trailer looked good.
I only know one truth. It's time for the Jedi to end.
I have one of those fidget spinners that someone brought me.